Okay, I know. We have gone through a lot of setups and installations, but this is a small tidbit for you. After this, we will be moving to our theory lecture, maybe thoroughly somewhat long but important for you to learn all the fundamentals of Flutter. So, the first thing is move into extension tab, go to a search bar and type PubSpec assist. Okay, choose the first one, click on the install button and install it. So this is your PubSpec.yaml. The first thing is you have to install dependencies like Cupertino icons, Cloud Firetone, Firebase, like page transitions, etc. etc. What does these dependencies do? They make our coding easier. Like there are some external third-party applications which we are using in our project. Some things run smoothly, so we install them for our own benefit. So the first way of installing it is moving it into your browser. Type pubdev, like move into the official website, which is pub.dev, and type the dependencies which you need. So the first dependency, like for example, let's type eva icons. It is an icon package, eva icon flutter. Move into installing, copy the dependency and paste in your file. But the simpler way of doing is pressing F1, searching for this PubSpec assist, click enter and type the name. Like it will search the eva icons, and if you just click on it, it will install it automatically. This is cool. For suppose another example is like go again one here and type Firebase. It will show all like Firebase storage and it will install it here. Okay, this is cool. Okay, the second extension is for the dark theme users, which is OneDark Pro. Okay, so this is a theme for like Visual Studio Code official. For those who are using Atom or Sublime Text, they must be familiar with it, so they can install it and go with their like favorite dark theme. And the third one is like let me see it once. Yeah, this is Visual Studio IntelliCode. IntelliSense is very important. Like suppose this is somewhat machine learning code. We can see you just have to type some of the keywords and further code will be automatically installed, so it is very important for us. And the last one is this material icon theme. If you look at this current file structure, it's very simple, but when we will be developing some real projects, the file structure are going to be very complex. You have to like manage all the folders and paths and everything, so this material icon theme comes very handy. So there are a lot of correct colors for it. Okay, so these were some of the extensions. I know I have not started coding it, but I will do it soon. So let's jump on to the theory part. Hey there, welcome back. It's the weekend. You are at your home, relaxing and watching TV. But suddenly your senior comes. Yes, it's the pandemic and you are a responsible citizen. He tells you that he have assigned you some task to do. The task is about planning and constructing a small house. But you answer him that you are a new joinee and you don't know the details. He tells that I know that. But you are a brilliant mind, but you know nothing about it. So the next day, you pass nearby to your house and see a construction site which is in progress. You see a lot of processes and stuff is going on there. Workers are working there, there are bulldozers, mining, dips and everything. And you are like, I should ask someone about how they did it. Then you are like, but will I understand about what they will tell? So you ask a person. And guess what? Who is he? He's Google, the solution for every problem. And Google recommends you a toolbox. It is just a small toolbox. And you just imagine like, can a toolbox help me in everything like constructing the entire house? Then you study further and you come to know that it's not about only a toolbox. There are certain processes that you will need to learn before constructing the houses. So the next day you put out your toolbox out and explore all the tools. You see there are a lot of tools that are like chisel, hammer, nut, bolts and everything. You study each and every tool with a proper time and you gain some confidence about building a house. The next day, you study about the main procedures. You come to know that there are three main procedures and they are combining, scaffolding and constructing. In the case of combining, you draw the entire blueprint of the site you need to construct. In the second case, that is scaffolding, you manage to pull out all the ropes over the construction site to build the outer infrastructure. and in the final step, you construct the inner infrastructure of the site. Now, it's the show day. You reach to a construction site along with your toolbox, remembering all the process that you have learned. And after some days, you study hard about the processes and you start working hard about building the house. And day by day, eventually, you build the house. Then the next day, you reach to the office. You meet your senior and you tell that you have constructed the small house that he have planned, and he praises you. But praising isn't everything, so he gives some amount, and you are like, thank you, sir. As far as I have worked on the site, I come to know that if I know about all the proper tools and procedure, I can work on anything. Now, consider the same scenario while learning Flutter. Remember the toolbox? Now, compare the toolbox with the Flutter. This toolkit now has transformed into a software development kit, which is the Flutter. And it is a bunch of tools which contains all the tools like hammer, chisels, and everything like scaffolds, buttons, action bar, and everything. But tools isn't everything. So you study the main processes about building an application and compare it with building a house. The first one was planning the infrastructure. So in the terms of Flutter, it's the material widget. The second one was scaffolding, and same for Flutter. That is, you use scaffold for building the outer infrastructure of your site. And the last one was constructing. And in the case of Flutter, it's the container, which are the placeholders of each and everything that you need to insert in your app. This looks jargon now, but trust me, everything will be cleared out. Now, the first core concept of Flutter is widget. What's widget? According to Wikipedia, a widget is a small, simpler GUI. It's a small graphic user interface element, but we can't understand from that. So consider widget as a set of small nut and bolts. Imagine that you use nut bolts in your building a house, and same while for building an application. Widgets are small graphic user interface components that are needed in each and every processes. Combine the parent widget with its children widget. The second main core concept of Flutter is method overriding. According to Wikipedia, it's the subclass of child to provide a simpler implementation. Yes, the definition is quite cringy. So consider it as building a house with same components, same name, same material, but just of different width and height. It means instantiating from the one class to another. I know, theory isn't everything. You won't understand each and everything from theory, but just get some idea about method overriding. It's about building the entire new class from the subclass just with some change parameters and attributes. Now, the last concept of Flutter is, no, not the last concept, but the core concept of Flutter is stateless and stateful widgets. If I broke down into some words, a stateless widget is static, it's immutable. That is, the values stay same. For naming convention, call this widget as a dummy widget. You remember widget? Yes. Consider widget as nut bolts that you are using for building a house. Same for building an application. Now, for naming convention, the stateless widgets are dummy cause its build function do not change over time. Now, the examples of stateless widgets are dialog box, images, assets, and etc. I know these words might be new to you, but trust me, they will be familiar to you within some time. Now, in the case of a stateful widget is dynamic. It's mutable. The values in it change over time. For naming convention, call it as active widget. What's an active widget? Active widget is a widget where the values can be passed and they are dynamic, that they change from time to time. And similarly, its build function changes over time. Now, the examples of stateful widgets are feature builder, streams, network, images, etc. I know it's all jargon. When I started learning it, similarly, I don't understand anything about it. So, for a clear picture, consider stateless widget as a pipe from where we can't pass any values, and in the case of stateful widget, consider a pipe where the values can be passed and certain operations on them can be performed. Method overriding, stateless widgets, stateful widgets, and widgets. These are the main core concepts of Flutter, which are very important while learning Flutter. So we will learn all these things by heart in some time.
A few moments later.
Oof, it was a lot of theory. Now, before ending this tutorial, let's take a deep dive over the file structure of our project. Now, if you are working on the Android project, you should be more comfortable with this Android folder, while for the iOS one, this iOS folder. Now, in terms of Android, you may see that there is an app subfolder and the Gradle one. Now, the Gradle is a build automation system which is open source. It is a high performance tool that can run almost any type of software on our device. If we check this build.gradle file, it has some jargon code in the second subfolder which is app. If we open it, we see again build.gradle file. If we open this, you see the same code as this one, but only this code is configured for the dependency section. The dependency which we will be using for our project shall have correlation with this build.gradle. In this source subsection, you see there is debug, main and profile. This debug folder is used to allow permissions to our Android device from the user. In this main, you see there are two main folder and they are Java and Kotlin. The third one is ACE, arbitrary bundle for managing assets. Here you will put all your assets. Assets, yes, they are images, icons and any other media thing that you will import in your project is called an asset. And the last one is this Android manifest. This one will be the outlook of your app. Suppose I have to rename my app, I can do from here and type it Puppet. Okay. Now you can change the Android icon, label, name and any other thing from here. Now this was Android manifest. Press Ctrl and S to save the file and close it soon. Now the second main folder is this library. This will contain all of our files on which we will write our Dart code. Now I would like to recommend that you subdivide this library folder into couple of folders. For that, right click on it, click on new folder and write UI. Create one more folder and type here services. And the last one, model. We shall divide all of our code into these subfolders. The UI for the user interface and the services for the connection between user interface and the model will be class which will contain all of our data of the user. This is the most important file in the subfolder of library. This is called main.dart. This is the home root of your application's code. Now, this is a lot of code and it looks jargon. But in the next lecture, we are going to study about each and everything about this file. What is this, like mapping the keys and overriding string and all this data, and we will study in our next lecture. But before that, let us have a look at the spec.yaml file. At the start of our lecture, we have seen it. It's the dependency file for our project. Here we are going to manage all of our assets and dependencies as well as developer dependencies of our Flutter project. Now, if you get any warning in the app, you can just change SDK version of it like 2 or 3 till the warning is gone. After pressing Ctrl and save, you may see that your pub-get running will appear. You can cancel it for now and turn in to your Androids and build.gradle, no, app levels build.gradle into the build.gradle and type here in the default config section multi-desk enabled to true. Yes, type it and press Ctrl and S. It will save it. Now, what this function does and what this everything does, I will explain in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye.